Hi, this is Heidi Johnson with Homeschool How To again, and I wanted to talk to you today about how to homeschool kindergarten. There's lots of different curriculums and all that kind of thing out there, and like I've said in the preschool video, make sure you stick with your budget, decide what you have to spend, and don't go over that. You know, God didn't want you to homeschool and go into debt. He wants you to use the resources that He's provided, lots of great things at the library and things like that. So you might need to spend a little more time printing things off or using your creativity if you don't have a lot of money, but don't let money stop you from homeschooling kindergarten, because it's very simple to do and not rocket science. So here's a few things that I recommend. Reading time, most important thing. Read to your kids. I was talking in the other video about picture books. There's all kinds of history, science, math picture books that are great, interesting for kids, interesting for parents. Spend at least a half an hour reading with your kids. That should be just basically your core of your homeschool kindergarten, is reading to your kids. And then the second thing would be game time. It doesn't have to be every day, you know, a couple times a week or whatever. Play games with them, shoot some ladders, all kinds of different games like that that teach math concepts, taking turns, sharing, all those kind of things that kids learn in kindergarten that you can teach them at home, just even playing games and reading stuff to them. A third thing you can do, which don't get overwhelmed with this, but take them to interesting places. This doesn't have to be expensive, it doesn't have to be every day, it doesn't even have to be every week, but think of interesting places to take your kids. Could be, you know, the post office or the zoo, or people that have talents that want to share with you, you know, making certain things, stuff like that. Even grandparents can be a great, interesting place to go, and you might ask them, "Oh, you have this hobby, you know, can you teach my, you know, your grandson how to do this," and that kind of stuff. So interesting places will spark lots of questions, lots of just interest in their brains, help them to think about the world around them, and it's great to get to do that, and it doesn't have to be expensive. Another thing, fourth thing you could do, or that I suggest you do, is encourage them to ask questions, allow them to ask questions, welcome the questions, and then help them find the answers to their questions. Whether you're reading during your reading time, or, you know, if you went to see something, they might have questions and they would want to know, you know, what about this, or why is this way, you know, and really encourage them. Now, if your children don't ask questions a lot, then you might have to model it for them a little bit. You might look up at the sky and say, "Oh, I wonder why those clouds are that way," and then another day the clouds are a different way, you know, "I wonder what that is," and just, you know, model that for them. Your not questioning the world around you, but, you know, being inquisitive about what's happening around you, and that will help them to learn also. And then the fifth thing I suggest for kindergarten is to use a lot of paper and all kinds of different pens and pencils and crayons, and you know, they're great to give for Christmas gifts or birthday gifts. You get a new pack of crayons or a new kind of fun pencil or pen or whatever, and let your kids to have the paper available, you know, on their level. They can pull paper, crayons, or, you know, coloring books or different activity books out whenever they want to, because the drawing and all that kind of thing is developing their penmanship. It's helping their little brains to work, to coordinate their fine motor skills, and so it's very important to, you know, let them draw, let them write. Don't worry about, you know, writing letters if they, you know, really are against it or whatever. You know, let them keep drawing until you can start working on letters and things like that with them, but don't get stressed out about this kindergarten stuff. You can go to my website. There's over 300 pages of information, lots of tabs on the side that you can work through for getting even more information. This is just kind of a short synopsis. There's also a ebook that I've written, How to Homeschool Kindergarten, just gives you more ideas. Lots of resources or recommendations on my website about what to use for kindergarten. You know, obviously each kindergarten is going to look different, because your family is, every family is unique, so, you know, don't try to cookie cut yourself into what someone else is doing. It's okay to be yourself and to be your family. And so I give you lots of ideas for resources and things that you can use. So hopefully that's helpful. Have a good day. Bye.